Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't it sweet to be back? We are here in Albert Park in the land down under for the Australian Grand Prix. First time the event has ran since season number 3. We're here for the fabulous Australian Grand Prix, as we said. Bit of a mix for this one, maybe. We've got some rain in the race, so it's going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. And an interesting man once again joins me. It is Brendan. Brendan, how are you doing?
I am doing very well tonight. We are back in Australia, and I think we should be in for decent, especially with the layout changes we've had here, which just makes it a lot more nice to drive, but also gives the opportunity to overtake as well.
Yeah, of course, it's a new layout here in Albert Park. If you don't know it, well, I think everyone knows it by now. Hopefully provide some great racing, and hopefully provides some good results. The last time this event ran, back in season 3, this man was making his debut. Legend Rosenberg. He's now a 2-time champion and the most successful Formula Virtual Racing driver of all time. But we're getting ready to go here in Albert Park. It was Adrian Teisch almost losing it. It's Borbune to start the first lap of the day as he heads through the first sector and towards the right-hander, takes a bit of curb and is on his merry way. Of course, yesterday in Formula Virtual Racing Academy, it was Tyler Davison who took the win. Formula Virtual Racing Academy, of course, runs on Fridays. Make sure to check it out. But for the main tier, it's Borbune we're looking at now, going around. And in terms of the standings, ladies and gentlemen, you can find them on our Instagram page, but in case you don't follow it, it is Avesta who is leading the standings with 68 points over Juan Hernandez with 48. It's then Thomas Main, Aaron McFall, Legend Rosenberg, Lewis McWilliam, Jake Marsh, Tim Wenting, Borbune and Enzo King, who round out the top 10. But I think we'll be in for a bit of a shuffle tonight, folks, because of Avesta having some issues. He's racing on a slightly different setup, which affects the drivers. We have qualifying bans for Aaron McFall and Lewis McWilliam, and we have some people inexperienced and a very tricky circuit. It's Borbune across the line. He's going to set the opening time of the day. It's a 19.5 is what you're beating. It's a Borbune for Haas. It's the 19.5 is the time he said, as we see Sir George Walbers going across the circuit. Avesta had a nasty incident.
Oh, Adrian Teisch.
Oh, almost a collision there.
Slightish spin there. But,
oh, Adrian. He's gone at the second corner. We've seen Valtteri Bottas make a bad mistake there. Was it 2018 he made the mistake?
Yes, it was Q3 and he completely totaled the car. Yeah,
that's not something you really want to do. As we wait for more guys to complete lap times. Legend Rosenberg, purple in sector number 2, as to be expected. It's Bill Nowick who goes second. Gift Pachero fourth, back in his Ferrari. Of course, he made his Ferrari debut here in Albert Park all those years ago. Enzo King goes to third. No representative time from either of the pair. Let's keep an eye on Legend Rosenberg, see what he can do. Very early time here in the Australian Grand Prix around Melbourne. Hangs to the left hand side and across the line. It's surely going to be a pole time here for Legend. It's going to be a 17.1, and wow, that's a massive lap.
Spun there at the back.
Yeah, someone has spun at the back. Who? It was Seb Millsy. Seb Mills spun at the final turn 16 corner. Really tricky one for the power, but he has spun there. Tim the Higher goes to third, and just look at these gaps. Unbelievable. But we'll try go on board with somebody for a lap. Shall we go on board with Leroy Van Schendel?
Yes, why not? I would just point out this is a bit more happier membership Legend. Of course, in his first race here in FVR was Australia, and he may or may not have punted the Williams off track. So hopefully today will be better for him, but on to Liam right now, so it should turn 1 and to make sure you... Oh no, he's invalidated.
Oh, that's that one done. As soon as it started.
Lewis was involved with.
Well, Lewis is qualifying, so we won't be setting a lap.
Oh yes,
we can hop on board with Jake Marsh. He's entering sector number 2, and I suppose we'll give it... Oh no, he's backed off, so we'll wait for later. Avesta is actually disconnected from the session, which is not good news for the championship leader. Thomas Main is up to third now, but he's still 2.6 seconds adrift of Legend Rosenberg. Is this really going to be what this race is? Is it really going to be that much of a Legend domination? Seb Millsy flicks the car around. It's an impressive 360. But the Alfa Romeo's gone for a second spin in this session. Sam Davis, Alpha Tauri, has gone for a spin as well. What is that? That's through turn 8, I believe. No, sorry, it's not through turn 8. It's just on the exit of 5 is where he spun there.
just pointing out here, if you did have that kind of pace in the race between Legend and the rest of the pack, around 2 seconds a lap, that would basically be a minute's difference by the end of the race, effectively, around 58 seconds. But obviously you'll have mistakes here and there, so it could be accentuated or diluted, depending on who makes the mistakes where.
I think the only way Legend would lose the race if he was 2.4 seconds clear of the entire field would be if he crashed. But I feel like if he was 2.4 seconds quicker than the entire field, he can go at 90% and he's still a good second clear of everybody. But we're still waiting on a lot of representative times. We're waiting on Sam Davis to put a decent time in. I believe he's going to start a lap now, despite the spin in sector number 2. He's going to come across the line now. Brendan, should we go on board with Sam?
Yep, so AlphaTauri, see his teammate is an Australian expert, but he's not here tonight. There's a nice run there for Sam. Against the outside there, and down towards the tree. Spy braking, just carrying nice. Now you want to dance the car around, you just get as close as you can, then get on the power nicely. Pick your line through here, just make sure you don't go too wide or get a little too hot. You can be aggressive there at the end of this one. It's a little more quicker with the track modifications, and now you don't have that chicane, which just feels like a momentum breaker for your driving. So now, this was the very quick left-right. You can see them going so quick on the outside cameras, but once you're on board, so it does look a little more normal. Now braking here you clip the curb a little, but you sometimes prefer not to. Now, hang it there. Oh, a little bit wide, but he's managed to keep it valid. There's the last two corners, a little deep, and as he decided to abort the lap.
Back into the pits then for the AlphaTauri. He's bidden that one in the final sector. He'll have to have another go. It's the second failed attempt for Sam Davis so far here in the Australian Grand Prix qualifying. We're about halfway through. 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in qualifying. We see Borbune very high up. Of course, he finished provisionally on the podium. It was 4th place in the end of the race results for him. Oh, he's gone in hot there on the outlap. That was a close one for Borbune. He almost very nearly lost it, but we're going to see Legend Rosenberg start a lap soon. We see Enzo King on a bit of a run now. Let's see what Enzo can do in the middle sector as he's heading through that quick left. We've seen Borbune make the mistakes at. And that is Enzo, seemingly purple in Sector 1. I don't know how legitimate it is, but we'd love to see Enzo King back on top in Formula Virtual Racing. Hasn't really made much of an impact on the past 2 seasons, but hopefully he can have another taste of victory champagne. He's 13.5 seconds up on his lap, so that's never a bad thing. As there's a car gone. Who's that gone? It's one of the Hasses. Is Borbune gone? Because the other one is not out on track.
No, Enzo. He's taking a little more curb there.
Oh no, big mistake. Big mistake for the Austrian. And he spun it right on the racing line. Short. Oh, he's almost hit Borbune. Oh, Borbune is having a horrid outlap here in Australia. And Legend, apologies, is slightly improving for the McLaren team. Of course, they have the Honey Badger in real life, and they'll have Oscar Piastri next season, 2 Australians. So, a team that wants to do well in Australia. It's a Dutchman and a Scottishman who represent the team here in Formula Virtual, and then it's 2 Britons in FVR.
A Scottishman who used to live in Australia. He was at an Australian Grand Prix.
Yes, he was. He used to live in Australia. That's a fun fact for Lewis McWilliam. He sees himself as he likes. Sorry, I'll try that one again. He sees himself as a bit of an Australian national. As Jake Marsh goes to 2nd, Leroy Van Schendel goes to 3rd. Legend extends his gap by another 0.2 of a second. It's a 1:16.9 for Legend Rosenberg. Really impressive lap time as Thomas Main is rounding the final corner of turn 16. He's just gone through 15. It's a lift off the gas for through 16 This one's not going to be challenging pole anytime soon. It's going to be a jump up to 4th, but not pole position for the Mercedes, who won, of course, last time out in Miami. It was a shock pole sitter in the form of Liam Hausman in Miami. We're looking on board with Seb Mills here, and it doesn't look like Avesta's going to get a lap in. His Wi-Fi is really not working, which is unfortunate. Beautiful run from Adrian Teisch. He's put himself in the top 10.
Not too bad for Adrian there, 19.7. There's a good opportunity here to score points today if you can just keep out of trouble. Let's see. Lewis and Aaron now have to fight their way up.
Oh, Stuart Walbers goes to 3rd. Great lap from him. That's the Williams right up there. Williams have not been up there for the past 2 seasons. Of course, it's Glennon and Wessels, the 2 representatives, as Yuri isn't actually here, I've just realised.
Yeah. But I have to say, Giffachero, he's back in FVR now. That's
the end of Williams. Stuart Walbers has clattered the wall on his in-lap.
There's curse if I ever seen it.
Oh, that's not nice. That's a nasty whack for the Williamsman. And that'll be the end of his session. He's right on the racing line as well. I do hope he doesn't get in the way! Ho-ho! Bill Nowick running right on the limit. I think he used the Williams as a bit of an apex there. He was right alongside, and the American flies past the Dutchman with no issues in the end. But my oh my, was close.
I do believe that is where Latifi crashed.
It is.
Well, very near it.
Oh, Bill Nowick, yeah, that's the end of that lap. I think there may be a change of race suit needed after that one. That was a scary moment as Sam Davis is on the lap now.
It's always scary when you feel the car go from underneath you at that corner.
And especially when there's a Williams on your inside. Sam Davis, he's not on a competitive lap here, but he scored his first podium back in Season 1, his debut race. No, sorry, it was his second race. His debut race was in Japan. It was his second race, and he scored his first podium. Did Sam Davis. He went on to win the championship in the following season. He did actually improve a position on the lap, despite being 10 seconds off the pace. He beat Enzo King, so that just says all you need to know about Australia. And if Avesta doesn't end up sending a lap, this would mean Adrian Teisch is going to out-qualify his championship-leading teammate. And if that's not a motivational boost for Adrian Teisch, I'm not quite sure what is.
Yeah, that would be a very good thing for mainly US. It would be because of reason outside Vesta's control, but even still, it wouldn't be the worst thing, especially as Adrian will have chances to improve here, having already got laps in.
Yeah, of course, Adrian really hasn't had a great season. He really hasn't had a great 2 seasons. Take a look at that, Enzo King. He does have pace in the Aston Martin. It's P3 for the Aston Martin Cognizant car.
Aston Martin Aramco Cognizant Formula 1.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the full thing. It's just way too long, as Sam Davis has taken another trip to some Aussie grass. He has found himself a grass patch there, which is unfortunate for him. There's 3 minutes and 31 seconds to go in qualifying. Qualifying, or pole position, mind you, has not been a debate for a long time. It's Legend who leads by 0.4 of a second, and really pole is... It's going to go to Legend without question, I think, but I don't think that's necessarily due to raw pace. I think it's just... there's a lot of factors playing a part in this. Of course, Avesta's having some issues and doesn't seem to be able to get a lap in. Lewis McWilliam and Aaron McFall, both quick drivers, especially Lewis, loves the circuit. Both with quality bands, so there's nothing really challenging Legend at the moment, apart from Jake Marsh.
Yeah, if Jake could hook up the lap, maybe we might see someone get close, but at the moment looks like Legend is very much in a class of his own today.
As we're going to see him go on a lap now. He's setting it very early. You normally see guys waiting late, but I suppose he's probably waiting just to get a proper lap in. And so 1:16.962 is the current lap for two-time Florida Virtual Racing champion Legend Rosenberg. Won the Austrian Grand Prix in his only attempt, and there's going to be a bit of traffic into turn 1 as all. It's an awful moment there for Legend Rosenberg. was really nothing. Well, it was really nothing. Was that Thomas Main? It was Thomas Main.
Yeah.
There wasn't much he could do, but he possibly could have just slowed coming out of the pits. But that's the nature of turn 1 here in Australia. And yeah, Legend, I suppose coming out early, he will still have a bit of time. As Thomas, I suppose there's one way. If you can't beat them, block them.
Suppose I don't have much room to talk.
Yeah, Brendan did the exact same thing last night in Formula Virtual Racing Academy and has a qualifying ban for next week's race in Monaco.
Look, I suppose the only way is up.
Oh, I just realised it's in Monaco as well. That's not a nice punishment.
Well, yes, but given Monaco, you don't have much room for error. I can afford.
To be fair, you can do a couple of interesting strategies. You can pit on lap 1, and I suppose the big advantage for you, Brendan, is you're not going to be punted into Saint Deveau, which is always nice.
But yeah.
You still could be, to be fair, because the likelihood is in Monaco you get a qualify ban and still start 16th. Gift Pachero flying through the fast left-right in his return to Formula Virtual Racing. He spent the summer in his native country of...
Leroy here. Leroy and Tim. Tim moving over there on Leroy. Both of them on their out lap. Just strange.
That is strange, as we are going to see Legend have another attempt at a lap. We're going to see Jake Marsh have another attempt of a lap. We're going to see Thomas May have another attempt of a lap. And we're going to see everyone have another attempt of a lap as Jake Marsh goes through turn number 1 and 2. Yellow flag in sector 3. That is for Leroy Van Schendel, who I presume is just letting a bit of a gap go through. We see Enzo King starting his quali lap. We see Thomas Main has already binned it. So Thomas Main's done. He's invalidated his flyer at the end of the session. It'll be a maximum P6 start for the Belgian who won last time out in Miami from a poor qualifying. Jake Marsh is up in sector 1, but it's not challenging Rosenberg at this point. Rosenberg is up in sector 1. He's beating his next best time. We'll see what both these guys can do. It's the man from Leeds versus the man from Holland, as Jake Marsh is looking to take his first pole position. Purple sector 2. It's much better in the middle sector for Marsh. What about Rosenberg? He's improving in the middle sector as well. Can't quite catch the time, but I believe this one is going to go Legend's way unless something drastic happens in this final sector. Jake needs to pump the lap time in. If he can even just beat Legend provisionally, it will give him a confidence boost heading into the Grand Prix. Braking at the 50-metre board to hook it into the turn number 15. Left-hander and 16 right-hander. Has Legend been impeded there? Not quite sure, but here comes Jake Marsh to the line. The Ferrari crosses the line with a 1:17.2, doesn't catch Legend. Legend gets a tow and gets a 1:16.8. It was Thomas Main who gave Legend the tow. I think it was kind of a sorry, as it was Enzo King who binned his final qualifying run. There, he's ended up in the grass. Leroy Van Schendel could improve. He could go to the second row. He will go to the second row. Great qualifying from Aston Martin. It's a lockout on the second row for Enzo King and Leroy Van Schendel. Bill Noack has ended his session in a yellow and green barrier, and Sam Davis ends his session with another mistake here in qualifying. Legend Rosenberg takes pole for the second time this season, and for the second time this season he'll line up alongside Jake Marsh.
Yep, so Legend will feel like order has been restored in this case, so well, I suppose now this is where his championship charge really begins. He's
just look at that, the top two. Sorry, Jake is the only man within a second of Legend, as Jack Redmond has just joined the session.
Oh my god. I thought he wasn't racing.
So did I. But, no, to be fair, it was all about getting home, and then he had an update, so he's got the update done in time. Can the Australia merchant pick up a third Australian Grand Prix win?
Didn't he win from 16th?
Did he? Oh, that could be a little bit of an omen.
I think I'm right in saying that. If my memory does serve me, which it sometimes does very well and sometimes fails to do at all.
We're just waiting on somebody to complete the session. No, it's Jack Redmond.
How's he on an outlap
I don't know, Brenton. I don't know. He's only joined and he's already glitched the lobby.
Oh. Okay, can we just appreciate that Gift Pachero in his first race brought back in the FVR is P7 on the grid.
Yeah, great performance by Gift Pachero for Scuderia Ferrari replacing Jake Marsh. Oh yeah, it's a wet race, by the way. We completely forgot to discuss this. It's a wet race.
Yeah.
So that's probably why the laps are different. Here we go then. As Jake said, if there's any rain in the race, I am word I won't say. This setup doesn't work in the wet, it's way too oversteery, and Lewis has instantly gone, oh yeah, it's a wet race, I think, Jake. Full qualifying results here in Albert Park. It's Legend Rosenberg on pole position ahead of Jake Marsh in second. Enzo King will start third. Leroy Van Schendel in fourth. Stuart Walbers in fifth. Thomas Main sixth. Kit Pachero seventh. Borbune eighth. Tim De Heyer ninth. Seb Mills in 10th. Adrian Teich in 11th, personal best result of the season, ahead of Bill Nowick, Sam Davis, Avestigo Badi, and then not setting a time, of course, was Jack Redmond, Lewis McWilliam, and Aaron McFall. Brendan, who wins the Australian Grand Prix?
Well, if I didn't go with Legend, I'd either look just completely stupid, or in the 1 in 16 chance, I would look like a genius, but I suppose unless proven otherwise, it should be Legend.
Well, just take a look at this beautiful Melbourne Saturday evening. It's a horrible one, so we're gonna have to see how this one ends up.
Ireland, in a way.
Yeah, it is. It's been a miserable day over here in the Emerald Isle. And it was beautiful yesterday as well.
Today, and
I haven't been outside, so it's been horrible. But 15 seconds to go here at no formation lap, folks. We're going to get straight into it. It's going to be a belter, hopefully. Legend Rosenberg starts from pole alongside Jake Marsh, but what can McFall, Gobadi, and McWilliam do from the back? Can Redmond get himself involved? And can Bachero possibly take a brilliant return appearance? Here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. We go racing in Australia, and just look at the slow start here, but it's a brilliant start actually by Jake Marsh. He's almost up alongside Legend Rosenberg. Enzo King gets a great launch as well. Leroy Van Schendel really struggling, and into turn 1 we go. It is FVR on ice into turn number 1. There's this contact between Seb Mills and Leroy Van Schendel and Enzo King, and it's all gone wrong for a lot of people here. Full wet compound tyres are out, and the full wet compound tyres will be staying. Ferrari off the circuit. Jake Marsh has been pushed off the track. Sojourn Walbers is up to second spot for Williams Racing. Legend Rosenberg still leads. 1/10 of a second is the gap between himself and Walbers, and it looks like it's gone wrong for a lot of people at the back. Aaron McFall is up to 9th now. Sam Davis taking an adventure off the track, and Lewis McWilliam is up to 10th just behind him. They've got a great race start. Jack Redmond is in second place as something's happening up the top here as it's chaos almost everywhere, but Jake Marsh has fallen to 4th. Thomas Main is up to 3rd, and Enzo King, man started in 3rd, and the man is now off as well. Look at that car control from Avestigo Badi behind. Avestigo Badi had a second lap collision back in season 3. Seb Milty and Jack Redmond almost having an opening lap collision, heading through the fast left right. What a hectic race start here in Australia as there's more cars. Jake Marsh, just like Carlos Sainz, venturing to the gravel. He's almost hit Tim Den Heyer, as Jake said he'd really be struggling in the race. He is really struggling in the race. It's almost going to be P6 on the opening lap, as no, Tim's adventured onto the grass, and it's chaos here. Lewis McWilliam tries around the outside. Lewis McWilliam's got it around the outside. Aaron McFall becomes a rally car for a slight moment, and what a hectic race start. McWilliam and McFall are going to be side by side until 1. No, McFall just dives behind. What a race start here in Australia. It's really been a hectic one, but it's Legend Rosenberg who leads. Yellow flag for Enzo King at the back of the grid.
Yeah, getting back in the full wet condition without a front wing is going to be a major task in of itself.
As we just see how slow these guys have to take some of the corners. It's really treacherous conditions here in Albert Park, but this is why we love Grand Prix racing. Lewis McWilliam is right on the back of Jake Marsh as we see a 5-second penalty for Enzo King. I'm going to imagine his day is done.
Gift.
Oh no, something's happened. Kit Pachero's gone round, and something's happened to George Walbers up the top as well, as there's a Red Bull. It's Tim De Heyer into the wall and out of the race. He's ricocheted onto the track. Oh, thank God everybody's avoided him. Thank goodness for that. He ricochets back on into the middle of the circuit as we see Kit Pachero taking avoiding action. The virtual safety car has been brought out.
Hard to hit the car. We'll see if it turns into full, but I don't think it will. Although that is strange, you would think a car in the middle of the track will constitute a... Oh, Jack's got drive-through.
Drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That's not good.
We want this to come in quickly then, at least.
As Legend Rosenberg leads the Australian Grand Prix by 4.1 seconds, heading on to the third lap. I think it may be due to Delta. As we can see, everybody is on the wet compound of tyres. This is crazy, seems. We see Sjord into the pits. Is it time to try the Inters? Absolutely not, but... in my time as a commentator, commentating on these league races, I have seen crazy... yeah, there we go. I was gonna say I've seen crazier things, but he's gone for the Inters. Why?
Jack's in the pits. Oh, he's got to repairs from wing.
Yep, have we got to see anyone else? No, everyone else is going for the hard tyres.
Hard?
No, Avesta's gone for the Inters. Avesta is a bit crazy when it comes to racing, as we go racing. Aaron McFall's capitalised really early, and he's gone down the inside of Jake Marsh. Jake was sleeping there, and Aaron McFall has got the job done, and Aaron is up to 5th. He likes a bit of a wet adventure in Australia. It's not worked out well from on previous occasions. It's working out well from now, and look at the man in 3rd, Borbune, running a solid race. There's a bit of a twitch as he heads into where the chicane used to be. It's completely changed there. You would not recognise it. But he has gone there, and speaking of gone, it's Enzo King who's gone round again and almost a lap down. Adrian Tyche making a move on Sam Davis, although I think Sam has made a mistake, and no, yeah, it's no front wing for the AlphaTauri. That's the issue there.
As he said, being passed by Bill Nowick now. So,
mistake for Main. Thomas Main has made a mistake there, and could be under pressure from Borbune, although I don't think it's going to cost him too much, as it's practically impossible to drive in this, as it's Enzo King retiring from the session. And I have to say here, Sjord Walbers is making these intermediate tyres work. Let's look at him down the inside of Sebastian Mills. As is he going to get the job done? Seb takes good avoiding action there. He knows that Williams was not great on the brakes. And McFall has set the fastest lap of the race, as Aaron is flying. It's a 4.7 second lead for Legend Rosenberg, as this man, he just surprises us every week. He's brilliant in the wet conditions here around Albert Park. Borbune is suctioned right in on Thomas Main, as we see Sam Davis into the pits for another set of the full wet compound tyres. What's Avesta go body like? Let's take a look through turn number 1, as he has improved on his fastest lap, but that is due to some slow times. He doesn't seem to be struggling too much. There's not any overcorrections for the Alpine. Unfortunately, as we see Bill Nowick's locked up a brake there, and he's gone off the track. It's Walbers who goes through, as Sam picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lewis McWilliam is right on the back of Borbune as well, and in 4 laps, Lewis McWilliam has gone from the back right up to the top.
Very good start for Lewis. Maybe if a safety car did come out, it could bring him into the picture here. With Legend, mind you, he is already in good contention for P2 here in this race.
Just looking at gaps on the Inters, they're coming down, so the Inters are not working too bad here. I think it's still full wets for the moment. I don't think it's Inters quite yet, but Avesta Gobadi is making them work. Avesta Gobadi is an extremely fast driver, as Legend Rosenberg sets the fastest lap of the race, but his teammate is making moves. That's Aaron McFall. Aaron McFall is into the pits. He feels it's intermediates. The reports from good friend Gobadi state that yes, it is intermediate tyres, as we're really going to see Lewis. I was going to say we're going to see him make a move, but it was a mistake he made, and it's not going to be a move in towards turn number 3. Adrian Tyche up to 7th now, as McFall trundles out of the pits on the Inters. Is he going to be ahead of Walbers? He is going to be ahead of Walbers, so Aaron McFall is going to stay in 8th spot here.
And now we've got a bit of a clear air to work with.
Yeah, we'll see how these Inters work for these guys. Seems like Rosenberg is still happy on the wets. Seems like Main is still happy on the wets, as there's a yellow flag for AlphaTauri. It's Sam Davis who's gone round, and that's really been the story of Sam's day so far. It's been mistake, as Lewis McWilliam is going to fly past Borbune. No defence there for Bohr. Bohr is struggling on the wet compound of tyres. Lewis McWilliam certainly is not, and Lewis McWilliam now puts the second McLaren on the podium. 5 laps after he started from the back. It's been an impressive drive so far for the Scotsman.
Yep, peace. It's
Aaron McFall's already on the back of Adrian Teich.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. I think it could be. Oh no! Oh my goodness me! Was that close between Aaron McFall and Adrian Teich? Here comes the George Walbert. He's going to try and get the both of them here. He's a lot of speed because of the mistake from Adrian Teich. Aaron was bumped and Aaron's going to be bumped into the gravel possibly. No, he keeps it on the asphalt as we see Thomas Main, McWilliam and Borbune all into the pits. Jake Marsh stays out. So does Legend Rosenberg. This is the interesting phase of this Grand Prix. Can Aaron McFall put his name higher up on the results pedestal? We'll see. Main exits the pits. McWilliam exits the pits. Bune is exiting the pits. But here comes Aaron McFall. There they are exiting the pits on the right hand side. Can he get Borbune? Can he get McWilliam? He's going to be right behind Borbune on the exit of turn number 1. And this is going to be really close. Aaron McFall down the outside. Adrian Teich is retired from the Grand Prix. Adrian Teich is out of the Grand Prix and the safety car's been brought out just as Aaron McFall's got the move done on Borbune. What has happened to Adrian Teich though? He was running really well.
Oh, I'm not sure if we take a look at the track map here.
He's not anywhere on the track map, that's the thing.
Oh.
What has happened to Adrian Teich?
Well, either way, I would say Jake is very happy.
I'd say Jake is buzzing. I say Lewis, Aaron, that bunch are fuming. Absolutely fuming.
They were probably thinking if we could gain a little bit of time here in Legend. First of all, like getting an undercut and then having warmer tyres. We could really make something of this, but now that's just been taken away. And Legend, who had a lead, which he could use as a buffer, so he didn't have to go for a risky decision. He's now got a free pit stop, and well, Jake as well. So Jake, who was struggling on these full wets, might now feel a little more comfortable on the intermediates.
Legend in the pits, as to be expected. Jake will be in the pits as well. As to be expected, it'll be inters for both. And yeah, Jake might feel a bit better now. But we'll see. Will Thomas... No, Thomas Main. I thought he was on the main straight. He's not. He's only entering the left-hander. These guys will come out firmly in the lead of the race. There'll be no question about it. It'll be Legend leading. It'll be Jake in second. It'll be Thomas Main in third.
Jake and Thomas.
It is going to be close here. It is going to be close. It's going to be Thomas Main ahead. Lewis McWilliam is not going to be ahead as they have to pile on the brakes for the Delta. As now, Jake is ahead of Thomas because of the Delta time.
Yeah.
They were pushing, but then the Delta came back, and the Delta on this game is horrible. You literally have to stop on the middle of the circuit.
So, why is Avesta in the pits again?
Avesta's... I don't know. Must have been a wing change, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Or just fancied some fresh tyres.
Yeah, could have made it a little easier for himself then. And either way, I would say the big winner of that safety car now is Jake and Legend, because well, Legend kept his lead easily, and Jake was able to get himself back up to where he qualified. And now he's not going to be on a little more of a comfortable stretch, because intermediates should be a little nicer than the wets.
As we see Bill Noack into the pits, and we see Gift trying to bleed the Delta. Sam Davis has just avoided not going the lap down. That was oh so close for the AlphaTauri, but the problem here is he cannot pit. He can't pit. Because if he pits, he goes behind everybody.
He's got to keep going round.
He does. A bit of a Tokyo drift for Sam Davis.
It's still alright for the wets now, just for getting round.
When Thomas Main and Aaron McFall were coming up behind Jake Marsh, when Thomas got past, the Delta gave them a 7-second Delta to bleed, so they had to all just pile on the brakes and stop. That is why Jake is ahead of Thomas.
Makes sense now.
We're running through the constructor standings for a moment. It's Alpine who lead with 83 points over Mercedes with 79. It's then Ferrari in third with 66 ahead of McLaren with 47. Alfa Romeo in fifth with ahead of Haas, Aston Martin, Williams, Red Bull Racing, and then AlphaTauri in 10th spot with just 10 points. They haven't scored points since round 2 in Spain, and it was a reserve entry as well who got them points on that occasion. Legend Rosenberg made it 18 Formula Virtual Racing pole positions. Today he got his 18th. Can he possibly make it? 17 wins. It would mean he has more than almost triple of Benjamin Bulwark in second, as it's Lewis McWilliam third, with Thomas Main tied on wins after his win in Miami.
Well, Legend polls this season have come in Austria and Australia, so looks like there's a little bit of a theme developing there in terms of country names.
As we see, hopefully, safety car in this lap, although I fear we won't, because there's still
No, you won't.
a lot of guys to catch up.
Sam's out.
Oh, he's crashed. Sam Davis has crashed at the final corner, or else, no, yeah, he's definitely crashed at the final corner because his car has stopped, and normally if it was in the pit lane you'd see it still going down it. But no, his car's completely stopped, meaning he is out of the race. Rosenberg still leads this one then, as we get ready to go racing, hopefully on the next lap. As he almost hits the Aston Martin safety car there, you can really see how much bigger the safety car is than these Formula 1 cars. It's a chunky car, and that Aston Martin safety car is around Australia. Of course, shares the duties with the Mercedes. As we are just waiting on Jack Redmond, Bill Nowak and Gif Pachero to catch up. We have 13 runners left. We'll run you through the order quickly. It's Legend Rosenberg who started on pole position. It was a great job by Legend to take pole. He took it in dominant fashion. Ahead of this man, Jake Marsh, in second. He's had a horror start to the race, but a safety car has brought him right back into play. Thomas Main in third. Didn't have the best of starts, made a few errors, was running second, now running third. Had Lewis McWilliam, who started right at the back with the man behind him, but Lewis has made some great moves and has made moves up to fourth. Aaron McFall in fifth. Went for that undercut. He got the undercut on Borbune, but couldn't get it done on everyone else because of that safety car being called out. It's then Borbune, who was running in the podium places at one point. Almost looked like he was going to challenge for a second, but Borbune ended his longest point streak in Spain. He'll hope to start a new point streak with some more points today in Australia. Stuart Walbers was running second on the opening lap of the race, but made mistakes and is now run seventh. Leroy Vinchendel made some mistakes in turn number 1 as Jack Redmond has disconnected. Vescobati in 9th. He didn't get a lap in qualifying, and he's made more pit stops than anyone so far in this race. He is in 9th ahead of Seb Millsy in 10th. Quiet race so far, but running in the final points paying positions. We've seen Jack Redmond just disconnect, didn't take part in qualifying because a completely dry setup on. It's Bill Nowak then in 12th with Gif Pachero on his return running 13th. But the safety car is in this lap, Brendan. How do we see this one gonna go?
I would expect not too much to happen straight away. Some people will probably be struggling a bit if they haven't got the tyres up to temperature. Interiors obviously require a lower temperature, but with wet conditions the track temperature is lower, so you're going to have to just try and get them heated up. And if you can, then there's a lot of opportunity waits, but if you catch someone at the wrong area, it could also be a curse.
Here we go then. We see oh, Legend's pinned it!
Oh
my goodness me! Legend Rosenberg, heating up his tyres, was doing some aggressive weaving. He has spun on the safety car restart, which he was leading. We go racing here in Australia.
No.
Jake Marsh cannot believe his luck. Everyone's weaving on the straight, trying to heat their tyres. Lewis with the best approach, just a wide weave. Will stop any instant spinning, lock up into one from Marsh. Main right on his tail. But that is an unbelievable story, because Legend Rosenberg has hit the wall on the safety car restart. McFall McFall and McWilliam side by side. Aaron McFall's brilliant at heating up his tyres. Jake Marsh has gone off the circuit. Oh, he's just about kept it on, but he's side by side with Thomas Main as he comes back onto the track. He pushes Main off the circuit. McFall is true. McFall goes past them both. Marsh and Main getting all caught up in it. Aaron McFall leads the Australian Grand Prix, still side by side. Marsh and Main. As Jake Marsh is into the wall, so is Bob Bune. They've both lost it. This is a crazy race here in Australia. Wet conditions have proved who's the best. The best is currently McFall. McWilliam is on the outside of Main, and all the M's battling up the top. Lewis McWilliam is true, and the two men who started at the back are now 1 and 2 in the Grand Prix. Thomas Main in first, John Walmers fourth, Legend Rosenberg fifth. Bob Bune has just been overtaken by a Bestico Bad who picked up a very unfair penalty, it seemed, in sixth. Jake Marsh is down to 8th with damage. Leroy Van Schendel 9th, Seb Mills 10th, Bill Noack 11th, Redmond 12th, Bichero in 13th. Oh my goodness me, what was that safety car restart?
I do not know. It was all calm until Legend just randomly dropped it, and now we've seen Jake had mess up. He's got a broken wing. He's gonna have to pit. Now Borbune also made a mistake. He's at least able to keep on going. Legend's not back up to 5th, so if he can work his way back...
The only thing damaged for Legend is his ego. He has his tail between his legs after that one, and I can't lie to you, I was genuinely thinking, I'm like, it's so easy to bin it here, and then Legend does it. I didn't think Legend would be of anything. Jake Marsh is back on the full wets. Back on the full wets here. That's a weird call.
That might not be what he wanted to do.
Or is this rain meant to get worse? Is that why he's gone on the full wets? It doesn't look like it's any worse than the start of the race was. It was a swimming pool at the start of the race.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was, but even still, interesting to see.
Redmond and Noack battling. Jack Redmond's got that one done on the flat out section. It is a chicane technically, but it's completely flat out in all conditions. Jack Redmond gets that one done. He's up to 10th as Bill Noack has made a big error there, and as Valtteri Bottas said in Austria, he's just cutting some grass as McWilliam is now 9/10 behind McFall. These are entering turn 15 and 16, the final two corners on the track. Turn 16 is difficult enough in dry conditions. It's certainly horrible in these full wet ones, as you can see just how slow these guys have to take it, as Legend Rosenberg is on the back of Stuart Walton. No, he's not, because Stuart has made a big error, and he's... Oh no, he hasn't kept the car out of the wall. He has clipped the wall, and his front wing bounces on top of Leroy Van Schendel, and there is the safety car. The safety car's been called out for that one. There was a front wing on bouncing along the straight, and Leroy Van Schendel, I think, hit it as... Oh, here we go here. It's Seth Millsy and Jack Redmond just stopped on the main straight as Leroy's picked up a drive-through for speeding. That's the problem with these Delta times. They are horrific to bleed off, and I really feel for Leroy Van Schendel there. Really feel for him, because that's unfair.
It is very unfair. You just all of a sudden have to stop, and there's nothing you can do then, because you have to serve the penalty, otherwise you're disqualified.
Yeah, it's horrible, and then there's nothing we can do as stewards after the race to remove it.
Yeah, you can't just remove the time. He'll probably have to hope that there's another safety car afterwards in which he can just go and catch back up, and maybe hope then that he gets a little bit of luck back. Either way though, it brings Legend back into play if he can just, well, not drop it while trying to keep the tyres warm.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is still very much an opportunity for him to win and kickstart this championship.
As we'll see, I imagine, will these guys pit? I imagine they'll stay out. I can't see why they would pit. No, Aaron stays out. I think everyone's going to stay out.
Wouldn't be a reason to pit unless you had the gap too. Although Avesta has. But I think he had to remove the penalty.
I think that's why he's doing that, because he's already made a pit stop as, oh, Gift's got a penalty now as well. As Avesta's actually getting a wing change. Oh, Stuart Walbers has crashed out of the race. Oh, his car has vanished off the track. What is going on?
This game, so peculiar.
The land down under is producing a weird one.
On track again. I think this is getting bad. It's getting horrible.
What happened there, Brendan?
I don't know. Give that to stop and track again.
It's the Delta. As Seb Millsy's gone for the full wets. What's going on?
This is a bizarre kind of race.
I am puzzled, to say the least. I'm very puzzled. As we await what happens after this saved car restart, make sure to check out all our social channels and pop us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more brilliant races like this one. Yes, this is a weird one, but we do have some absolute belters here for Virtual Racing and in the Academy tier.
Yeah, and now still looking very interesting. Jake now has got his opportunity to try get back into this one. Very interesting to see what he does, but you know he's not really felt comfortable in the conditions of today.
He's not comfortable in the conditions, and he's possibly on the wrong tyre, but really we have to wait and see, because we didn't get a chance to see how that full wet worked for him.
Okay, only one way to find out then, and that's to try and get this racing underway. For Aaron McFall, this is a really opportunity to make his season. He can get what he's really been missing, as he has got a couple of podium or decent finishes, the podium opening races, etc. But he hasn't got a win yet, and if he could do that, then I'm not mistaken, that be his. Well, that would be possibly a third win, and that will go after Monaco in season 5, and well, Abu Dhabi in season 1. So it tends to be a bit of a wait for him between wins.
Yeah, but he's performing really well today. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see our McFall's name up towards the top 3 by the end, but to be fair, this one is just looking like survival of the fittest at this point. I don't really know if we can predict who'll win.
He's 4th in the championship at the moment, 42 points. If he was to win, and well, mind you, with a vested down there, it's looking decent for him. Also for Thomas, who's 3rd on 44 points. So them two have an opportunity here, but the safety car has now brought Legend back into it.
Legend was up there, but Legend's mature enough to get over that mistake. He won't even remember it at this point. He will after the race when someone's got to mention it, probably me. But we see, oh, Jake Marsh actually disconnected, but he's back now. I didn't even know he disconnected. Oh, what's happened here? Oh no, what's happening here? This one is really messy. The safety cars come in, and it looks like everybody has just been given a Delta. Is the safety car in this? The safety car's not even in this lap. This Delta is really, really broken.
Oh, how have they managed to get a new glitch?
It's an ugly watch, this one. It is an ugly watch. It's no Rolex, it's an ugly watch. As we see Lewis in the pits. Does Lewis have wing damage possibly?
Well, there's only one way to find out here.
Oh, Besta's got 5 seconds as well, as we're all stopped on the circuit here. This is a mess. This is a mess of the highest order, and it's once again a brilliant display of the talent that is in Codemasters. Lewis McWilliam has pulled the biggest Lucas Degrassi since Lucas Degrassi, and by pitting he has come out almost, well, he was going to come out in his position, but the Delta sped up. He's only come out 7th despite pitting under safety car conditions, which just goes to show what an absolute shambles this is. The safety car is still on the circuit, but Aaron McFall isn't with it because of a stupid Delta time, which is it's marvellous.
if the Bill Noaker still having to stop. This could drag on the safety car.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going on here, and I pray for everyone that we don't get another safety car in this race.
Yeah, we may need to avoid them. But for some people, they probably would think I need something here now, just to make it a little easier.
Well, that's the first I've ever seen of when we were actually behind the safety car. You have to do this stupid slowing down thing for a delta, and safety car is in this lap, thankfully. Thankfully, we don't have to watch that monstrosity again. Lewis has gone for the full wets. That's why he pit. We didn't even get to address it. These guys are going back for the full wet tyres, the extreme wets they're now commonly known as. So they feel the track is not getting better at all. The track's getting worse.
Yeah, it is. What have I just seen Avesta do?
I think Avesta's having some internet issues.
Oh.
And mixed with Jack Redmond, that's never usually a good pair.
Yeah.
We'll try and get back racing here anyways. It's going to be Aaron McFall who leads us away, and he's not going to bin it this time like we see Legend Rosenberg do. He's going to exit turn 15 and 16 and bolt away on the main straight to possibly take his third Formula Virtual Racing career win. Still a bit of a race left in this one, as it looks like the track is really drying from some perspectives, but it isn't on others, as Aaron's going to leave it late as the safety car has been brought back out.
What?
We go racing here in Australia, but for how long? Aaron McFall's bolted. It looks like the safety car has been brought back out as Thomas Main pulls alongside Legend Rosenberg, as Legend Rosenberg hits the back of Thomas Main. And do these guys know that the safety car has been brought out? I'm not quite sure what's going on here anymore. I'm really not, as this is a messy one. I don't think the safety car is out. I think it's just a visual glitch, as Legend Rosenberg tries around the outside of Thomas May, and He's picked up another penalty, as these yellow flags are what's causing the problem. It is these yellow flags that are causing the problem. Gone now, so we can fully go racing here in Australia. Vesco's picked up multiple penalties, but they will be removed. The two McLarens have made contact! Legend Rosenberg is into the wall as Lewis McWilliam tried up the inside, and the Dutchman on pole is left facing the wrong way in a chaotic race. Legend Rosenberg, look, has not worked out, and he's been put into the wall by his teammate.
It's not a good return, but for like Aaron and Thomas, it's looking good. And for Jake as well, he's now up to 4th, and I'm assuming that penalty will be removed.
I think all these 5 seconds will eventually be removed if these guys don't pit again, but if they pit again, and it's served, that's unfortunately just can't be removed. It's how the cookie crumbles as the Vesco's right on the back of Thomas Main. Lewis McWilliams seems to come off scot-free from that instant with his teammate. There's a hass-off in the back. It's Bill Nowick, but Aaron McFall leads by 2.6 seconds. Big send from Avesta up the inside. Main tries a switch back, and he's up alongside the Ukrainian now, but Avesta is going to hold the inside, and it looks like this one might work out for the Alpine, but Thomas Main gets the launch off turn 16. McWilliam and Marsh side by side. The two wet tyre runners are struggling in this one. I think it's still definitely the intermediate tyres, as Thomas Main is going to have to sit behind Avesta Gobardi now, as Avesta will charge on much fresher tyres, but the gap at the front is 3.4. As we see Main, no, he's backed off, he's not going to go for this one, and they've all just spaced out a little bit. We see Bachero and Rosenberg and Van Schendel all into the pits. As Aaron McFall leads by 3.7 seconds. Lewis McWilliam. Oh, the wets could be working here, Brendan.
Yeah. It could well be working.
Oh, here we go. Jack Redmond's involved in this one now. That's probably not good news. But Jake Marsh has fallen behind Jack Redmond. And Bourbune's up the inside of Seb Mills. His teammate has crashed, but Bourbune makes moves and is up to 7th. There's mistakes there as Jake Marsh has gone off the track, and Bourbune's going to pick up another spot here. Jake Marsh in 7th spot, Bourbune is up to 6th, and I really can't tell what's the better tyre here. It seems like both are equally as bad.
Yeah, it is in that murky grey area like it was at Spa last season. except that was between...
Oh, Redmond. No, it was just lag. I thought he was off the track. Yeah, now he's definitely off the track. Oh, no, he's not.
He's not.
As this is really a mess, as Lewis McWilliam is in third place now. Aaron McFall sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We are just coming to 10 laps to go here in the Australian Grand Prix. It's been a really, really messy one. As we wait and see, can Aaron McFall possibly take his third race win from the back of the grid? There'll be a lot of investigations after this one, especially between the incident with the two McLarens.
Well, yeah, it did look like Legend just had nowhere to go, so... But once we get the perspectives from both drivers, it's we'll be able to make a decision there. As it's purple sector 1 for Lewis McWilliam. If he could get past the vestigial body, I'd be very interested to see where he'll end up towards the end of this race. At the moment, this is a huge opportunity for Aaron to...
Seb Millsy gone off the back and Bill Noack will take the place, but Lewis McWilliam is right on the back of Vestigo Bahadi.
Yep. Avesta's got a huge opportunity to put daylight between himself and Legend, although Aaron will be able to move himself up the order a bit, along with Thomas.
As we see Legend Rosenberg making a spot up on Gif Bachero in the back as Aaron McFall improves his fastest lap. It's a 1:31.2 for the Northern Irishman, although it's beaten by McWilliam on the wets. Maybe we're going back to full wet conditions here, folks.
I think it's it. No, they're practically equal here. It's little difference, probably just whoever's more comfortable on their tyre. I think we're just in that murky areas.
What's happened there? Oh, it's Thomas Main got off.
Thomas got punted. I think there's a lag spike from Jack. There's a lag spike from Jack, I think, and that's punted Thomas into the gravel.
Poor Thomas Main he's been punted into the gravel there. He'll fall down the order, and we see Aaron McFall still increasing his lead slightly as the Vestigo Bahadi's under pressure. It's a yellow flag. It's a yellow flag. It's Jack Redmond. It's Jack Redmond who's gone into the wall for AlphaTauri, the King of Australia, some called him. Not going to rain here in Albert Park. It's the new layout and the conditions here have not worked out for him. He was a king in the wet back in season number 2. He's not a king in the wet here.
Season 3, wasn't it?
Well, season 3 he was a king in the wet then.
Yeah, because that was... It was his first win of that season.
Lewis McWilliam right on the back of a Vestigo Bahadi. 0.4 of a second behind the Alpine. Can he make some moves as the gap up the front is really coming down? Aaron is starting to struggle on those intermediate compounded tyres. They're much older than Gobadi's. We'll see, sets a fast lap of the race here. Will it be beaten? It will. McWilliam still the quickest of the front 3. And the McLaren man, despite the incident with Rosenberg, still might have something to say in this story.
Yeah. Aaron's lead is starting to be clawed back in here. But Lewis needs to really pass the Vesta in order to really start setting after Aaron. So at the moment I think Aaron and Vesta have similar enough pace, but Lewis could have the real upper hand here. So Legend
says the fastest lap of the race on the full wets. He's in 8th spot. He's just past Jack Redmond due to Jack being in the pits. So he's still looking to make some moves here.
He's been in the wars today anyway, so I suppose if Legend will probably be hoping for maybe something to come up there towards the end, and if he's right place, right time.
Lewis has dropped out of a second here. Of course, there's no DRS for quite obvious reasons, but it could suggest that the Inters are starting to work, or that Vestigo Bahadi starting to stretch his legs a little bit in that Alpine. They're rapidly catching McFall up the front, so Gobadi's tyres are definitely working the better. Will this be a fastest lap? As you know, it's looking a lot drier here in Albert Park. Just look at the slides from Gobadi. He's only a 10th off Legend's lap there, is the Vestigo Bahadi. So maybe the Inters are starting to once again be the better tyres. He's really stretching his legs over McWilliam now. As we see Thomas Main attacking Jake Marsh for 5th spot. These two have been equally as unlucky today, as we see a mistake from Jake Marsh. He's picked up a 3-second time penalty for it. Here comes the Mercedes. He's going to try around the outside and towards turn number 3. Usually a DRS zone this one, but due to the conditions there's no DRS zone. Jake Marsh locks up a break and he's gone off here. Possibly we've seen these two scrapping, and now Alan McFall through, but Thomas Main has forced Marsh into a mistake, and Thomas Main will now take 5th spot here in the Australian Grand Prix.
I suppose Thomas, if he can just recover this result, if he can get past Borbune, that'll probably be the most he can get out of the day then. Providing he can, well, that's saying that there won't be anything that could go further. But if you get this 5 seconds removed, you don't know what could happen.
Gobadi runs a bit deep in there, as we're going to see McWilliam claw back within a second now. It's 9-10. Just a gap as Lewis McWilliam with an impressive catch there. The McLaren man is right on the limit, but he's lost time because of it. We're going to go to lap 22 of the Australian Grand Prix. Aaron McFall has found a bit of pace once again. It looks like these tyres have got into their second sort of stage, as he beats his personal best lap. Yellow flag. It is for Jack Redmond. Jack Redmond's gone off.
Not a good day for him, and he's spun round there, but it's
yeah, he's spun round again. Oh no, never mind. Let's not watch whatever's happening there, as we see back up the top. Marsh is still keeping with Main. Marsh is still keeping with Main, but McWilliam is losing pace to Gobadi, who Gobadi's had a massive mistake, but he's held it. Impressive, he's held it, has the Alpine. He's lost a bit of time there, but not a lot. Gobadi has held it.
Jack Redmond, yeah, they could be passed by Leroy here soon.
We could see Rosenberg go past Nowick as well, as that's a yellow flag. It's Jack Redmond once again, as we see Legend almost slide off the circuit. He is right behind Bill Nowick, and he's looking for a 7th spot. It's a recovery drive as Jack Redmond, I don't know what's going on there. I don't really want to know what's going on there, as we see Legend Rosenberg go across the corner, have a bit of a slide, but he's held it as his talent kicks in once again. As is that Redmond into the pits?
I don't even know.
No, he's crashed at the pit wall. He's now a lap down. Is Jack Redmond, as we're going to see Legend Rosenberg slide one up the inside of Bill Nowick. He's definitely going to get the job done here. In towards turn number 13. Brakes. Oh, Nowick's just let him through. Fair play to Bill Nowick. He knows that's not his battle. It's definitely not his battle today, as Redmond is... He's now facing the wrong way, the pit wall.
It's trying very erratically.
What'd you say, Brendan?
If you call George Russell, it's driving in an erratic manner.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was drying erratically, and I'm like, oh, what's here? Oh, Gobadi! Vesta Gobadi's made a mistake!
Oh.
And he's spun. Has he broken a front wing? There's a bit of debris here. Is Borbune's going to fly past the... but he has! It's damage for Vesta Gobadi! Is it championship title deciding damage? Or will he be able to keep 3rd place in this one? Borbune could finally get his first podium after being cruelly denied it last week, or 2 weeks ago in Miami.
He was on the podium, but then an Alpine was able to get, Niall Cameron was able to get a penalty removed, which pulled him up to the podium. But this week, Borbune has an opportunity to take a podium off an Alpine here. Vesta's damage will not help.
It definitely will not, but Gobadi's still a quick driver. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not quite sure what happened. I think he just lost it, as the damage to his no front right end plate, but he doesn't seem to be struggling too much. If Borbune plays his cards right here, though, he could get past the Alpine. Because of course we're gonna assume that Gobadi's penalties will be removed. Is it the yellow flag for, you guessed it, Jack Redmond?
And, well, I suppose it's just not been his day. Now, Lewis, he needs to try pump in some laps here, but is the wet going to be the right tyre for these last couple of laps?
Yeah, I've no idea about the conditions really. They are a mixed bag as we see Gobadi going through the corner where he made the mistake. Will we see Borbune get past as Gobadi's really struggling? Borbune is driving very comfortably here. Borbune, he's kind of just sitting there and he's like, you know what, Avesta, I'll just sit behind you and wait for you to crash. He's a mature man at the wheel of that Haas, is young Borbune, as he had a great season last season, but he's having an even better one this season. He's really driving out of his skin as heading through the fast left-right. He's lost a bit of time, but just taking it casual. Gap up the front, though, is 1.4 seconds between McFall and McWilliam. Could we see a battle between these two towards the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see. McWilliam, no matter what the compound, his tyres will be much fresher than McFall. McFall has did 19 laps on his as Jack Redmond picks up a penalty. He's almost 2 laps down now at this point, is Jack Redmond.
Yeah, it's not great for him here. Let's see, Lewis losing a little time there. But oh, he's a little snap of oversteer.
Yeah, a little bit of a snap there from McWilliam. He's held it though.
He's probably just trying to push it here, and the car's probably telling him, I can't go that quick, because it'll spin. You'll be spun around otherwise. Taking a curb, he's getting it, pushing it a bit here. If he doesn't manage it, he could be in a wall. If he just goes a little too far. Now back 1.4. It's not great. He's also such big grass. Although I don't think it'll affect him too much.
Here comes Borbune though. Borbune's right in the back of Avesta Gobadi. Let's see what he can do. Gobadi just seems to the better line through the fast chicane here.
No, I think Borbune's been a little careful here. Probably he's having to lift slightly in the middle of that straight stretch for whatever reason. And that's giving the best of 2 or 3 tenths.
Yeah, he seems to be lifting or something through there.
It's lifting on the middle of the straight, a little bit before the fast left right.
Yellow flag, it's Bill Nowak. Oh, I think has made a bit. Oh, seems to be still going strong, so not too sure what that yellow flag's for. It's a 1.2 second gap up the top, so McWilliam has gained. There we go, that's why he's gained. Fastest lap of the race that one was for Lewis McWilliam. 1.3 seconds is the gap. We're on 26 out of 29. Can McFall just hold on for his third FVR win?
Well, it'll only be 3, but this could be one of the most important ones. It could really propel him into this championship, because Legend has had a bit of not the best of races to return. He had pace to win, but it just hasn't went his way. Partly due to his own mistake, and then partly due to probably just getting caught at the wrong place. Now Lewis also, he could get himself a decent
Gobadi's
win.
made an error. Avesta Gobadi's made an error there, and Borbune is right on the back of Avesta Gobadi, but still, Avesta, maybe he's burning more here. Rest.
Borbune's got
Yeah,
more
Borbune's
than
84% of battery. That's the thing here. Avesta Gobadi is pushing. Borbune is just sat behind. Borbune's here for a Sunday drive, but it's going to be a successful Sunday drive, as he's going to try slide up the inside of Avesta Gobadi, and quite literally sliding the inside. Who's going to break the later? Borbune breaks the later, up the inside of Avesta Gobadi. Gobadi hangs around the outside, but Borbune is still pressuring here as Jack Redmond has set the fastest lap of the race. Where has that come from? Gap up the front is under a second. We're in for a bout here to the end of this Australian Grand Prix, as Borbune still trying to pressure around the outside of Avesta Gobadi. It's not quite worked there, but he's starting to utilise that extra battery capacity he has in his Haas Formula 1 car. But no, it's not going to work into turn 1.
Save a little bit there, because you won't gain. Now you push a little.
He's going to push a bit here. Still not going to be close enough, I think. He was really close on the last attempt. He's forced Gobadi to the inside. Is it going to be a switchback here by Borbune? Is it going to be the Haasman onto the podium? Make it Haas's first podium in a long time. Since actually Tim Wentink in Spain. It would be their second podium this season. Didn't score one last season. They'd really love to get one here Gap up the front is now 4/10 of a second. Look at this. Lewis McWilliams right on the back of Aaron McFall. It's going to be a battle for the race win in a slip and slide in Australia. We'll see. Can McWilliam possibly take it? He's not going to be close enough into this corner. Can he be close enough down the main straight? We have to wait and see. Aaron McFall's a very nippy defender. We'll see, can Borbune get a charge on Gobadi? Gobadi's had a bad run out of the quick left-right chicane. Can Borbune make another attempt? He's gonna have to go for the outside this time. Gobadi defended the outside the last time. Gobadi breaks perfectly into the right-hander, and that battle will continue on. Battle up the front with 28 and 29 to go. Is 5/10 of a second. It's 2/10 between Gobadi and Borbune. Gobadi's trying round the outside. Sorry, Borbune's trying round the outside of turn 15. It's not worked, and Avesta Gobadi has pushed him perfectly off the circuit there. Perfectly as in it's worked. Perfectly as in it's not the cleanest, but it's very difficult to be clean in the mucky conditions in Australia. Borbune will sit behind for the moment, but the battle up the front between McWilliam and McFall is still oh so close. Can Lewis McWilliam do it? It was on course to be McLaren's day. It's not on course to be McLaren's day now, and after being denied of a win possibly in Miami, Alfa Romeo looked to charge back here. Aaron McFall's much better through the second sector, or through the first sector and the start of the second sector as McWilliams made a mistake. Oh my goodness me, it's really close here between these two. They're both making mistakes as Aaron McFall just... Has he lost a bit of gas here? What's happening, McFall? What is happening, Aaron McFall here? Was really slow on the straight. Is he just saving some battery possibly? What is going on as Lewis McWilliam is trying to take the race win? There's going to be a battle on the last lap as who's going to be giving McFall, I was going to say DRS, but he'll be giving him a tow, that's for sure. Borbune can give another charge on Avesta Gobadi. Borbune's used up a lot of his battery here, and I don't think he's going to be able to take it. I think Gobadi will still hold that third spot, but this is the battle onto the final lap. McWilliam is 5/10 of a second behind McFall. It is intermediates versus wet compound tyres. Both will be feeling equally as awful as we enter the final lap of the Grand Prix. Can McWilliam take it? He's pressuring McFall through 1 and 2. Who gets the better exit? McFall gets the better exit of the two. Of course, Aaron McFall had a crash there once with Tyler Davison. McFall picked up a 10-second time penalty for it. Or sorry, Davison picked up a 10-second time penalty for it with McFall. 5-second penalty for Redmond, 3-second penalty for Borbune. That's probably the chance gone for Borbune to take a podium here in Albert Park. But it'll be 2 P4s in a row. As it stands, Lewis McWilliam has a slide on exit. It's going to be one last charge down the back straight for Lewis McWilliam. It's going to be a lunge into 13, if anything, because there's no real overtaking opportunity until then. It's a yellow flag for Gif Pachero, who's gone course to take points here on his return. Look at McWilliam gain! He's gaining and gaining into the fast 11 and 12 chicane. Can McFall just hold on here? McWilliam's had a massive slide. That could decide the race. That has possibly decided the race. And Lewis McWilliam once again makes a mistake when he did not need it. Aaron McFall could hold on here, but could Aaron McFall even pick up a puncture? He's did 24 laps on these intermediate tyres. It looks like he's going to be clear home to the finish. But you have to just remember these two started on the last row of the grid. Rounding the final corner, 16, Borbune has got past Gobadi. He's side by side. Aaron McFall is going to win in Australia from last on the grid. Does he take it? No, he doesn't.
0.016.
What the? I don't believe it. I do not believe what I am seeing. Borbune is going to take a podium. Avesta will have his penalties investigated. But Lewis McWilliam has won in Australia. What happened to Aaron McFall? He just had no straight line speed.
So strange.
Aaron lifted to go side by side and Lewis took the win.
Oh, and it's like when Schumacher tried to get a dead heat in Indianapolis in 2002.
But Lewis McWilliam will take 25 points.
Oh my lord. Aaron must be fuming with himself here, and you may want to hope for a penalty for Lewis.
Lewis may get a penalty for that incident with Legend Roseberg, but wow, that's unbelievable. I was doing an announcement for Aaron's third FVR win and he's just lifted off the gas.
I don't know. Maybe Aaron probably wanted to have a nice dead heat, but Lewis probably didn't get the memo and just ended up snatching a win.
Well then, that is as Jack Redmond, I don't know what you're celebrating for.
Well, I suppose 46 seconds of penalties.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
46 seconds of penalties.
It's what people probably think Verstappen should have gone Saudi Arabia last year.
They say they say Australia it's a weird place, but I've never seen anything weirder than this evening.
Yeah, you just have snakes and spiders, and they're really huge ones running around. But yeah, no, this penalty takes the cake.
Well, if Jack could just cross the line, that would be great. I think Jack actually has crossed. There we go. No, he hasn't crossed the line.
Hasn't. If he could just do that. Could he just please do it?
There we go. No.
Oh.
Well, it's only 15 seconds, thankfully. But Lewis McWilliam takes the provisional win ahead of Aaron McFall by 0.16 in controversial fashion. Jack is celebrating the fastest lap. You should celebrate being kicked from the league if you keep doing this, but
oh, Legend just said Lewis will get 10. Because so he said Aaron will still win because Lewis will get a penalty.
Here is the podium. It'll be a McLaren stood on the top, and who would have thought of that heading through the final corner?
Well, I suppose if Aaron trying to do something, trying to produce a dead heat as it's cost him, but given the incident between the two McLarens, you might see his mistake go unpunished by circumstance.
Here we go then. It's a full race result. It's a race time of 50 minutes and 32 seconds for Lewis McWilliam. Aaron McFall in second with equally possibly the same thing. Borbune picks up a podium in third. Thomas Main fourth. Vescobody fifth. Legend Rosenberg sixth. Jake Marsh seventh. Seb Mills in eighth. Bill Nowak ninth. Gift Pachero 10th. Jack Redmond in 11th. Leo Ivan Schendel in 12th. Stuart Walbers in 13th, but it was a DNF, and the other DNFs are Sam Davis, Adrian Tite, Enzo King, and Tim DeHire.
Say, that was a chaotic race. See, everyone who, well, had their car on 4 wheels on the car at the end of the race was able to get points, even Jack with the fastest lap. That's it.
Brendan, who wins the Beam One Safety Award? It's a difficult one today, but who wins it?
I'll give it to Borbune.
Borbune wins the Beam One Safety Award. As we wait and see what happens next week in Monaco. Make sure to tune in next weekend at 7:30 British time for the Monaco Grand Prix. You can tune in on Friday for the Formula Virtual Racing Academy race at 8:30 British time in the evening. If you do want to join, make sure to check out our Instagram and our Twitter page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching. We shall see you next time. Stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.